to initiate a campaign of Sri Paksham all over the state, which will impact on many, many different aspects of the problems that women are facing and the discrimination that they still face, the violence that they are still subjected to, and the fact that they are still deprived of equality in many, many spheres, including within their own homes. This, of course, is an extremely disturbing factor, and now we are seeing a spate of cases of terrible domestic violence resulting in deaths, even in the state of Kerala and all over our country. And very often we are forced to ponder over why this is happening. I would just like to share with you that some 15 years ago, the All India Democratic Women's Association, ADWA, had done a countrywide survey through its own activists, going into the question of how people at different levels of society and belonging to different communities were experiencing dowry demands and increased expenditure on the weddings and marriages of their daughters. And it was very interesting because we found that all of them said that it was after 1991 that they had seen a terrible spurt in not only dowry demands but also in the expenses of their daughters' marriages. And the people who were interviewed belonged to all the castes among the Hindu community, including, of course, scheduled castes and OBCs, and also tribals, including Banjaras, Muslims of different social groups, and Christians. And in fact, we tried to cover all the communities. And what was very interesting is that not only did they say across the board, irrespective of which community, which caste, or which religious group they belong to, that they had seen a terrible spurt in dowry demands and in the marriage expenses of daughters since the early 1990s. But many of them spoke about the fact that in their communities, actually, earlier on, there had been a practice of the payment of bride price. That means that the groom's family had to pay a certain amount of money or give some cattle or something which was of value to the girl's family in order to get married. But without exception, they all said that now this had changed completely, and now it was the girl's family that was forced to spend heavily, borrow, etc., in order to get the daughters married. Now, this shows that there's a very clear linkage between the neoliberal reforms, between the development of this extremely super exploitative kind of capitalism that we are seeing at work in our country along with most countries of the world, and also which involves the withdrawal of the state from many welfare activities, and a great belief being created that the market is the best arbiter between employers and employees, and between customers and producers, and also within the family. The market has been given a very, very important status, and those who are the proponents of neoliberal capitalism, they insist that the market is neutral, and it is a neutral arbiter between competing groups and competing forces. Now, we know that this is absolutely not true. The market is certainly not neutral. The market itself is controlled by exploitative forces, and in our own country, we are seeing that the market plays a tremendous role in increasing the expenses of girls' marriages and also of dowry by promoting lavish and ostentatious weddings, by promoting huge, vulgar gift giving at the time of the girl's marriage, and by promoting in different ways the absolutely erroneous belief that a girl will be welcomed and given respect in her marital family in proportion to the gifts that she brings and the gold that she brings and the wealth that she brings from her natal family to the marital family. Now, all this is being promoted day and night, and it is a way in which that our families in our country, who are very often not even being able to afford necessities like healthcare and even proper nutrition and good education, they are forced by the pressure of the sanskar of a girl's marriage being the most important sanskar to borrow money, sell land, sell their assets to pay for these kinds of ostentatious marriages and gift giving that the market is promoting. At the same time, it is very necessary to understand that in order to make this kind of expenditure possible, the market also promotes differences in the status of men and women. It constantly promotes the belief that women are inferior, and therefore, even if a woman and a man who are both doctors, for example, are getting married, the market has created a mindset that even in such a situation, the family of the female doctor has to spend more in order to get the daughter married. Now, all this actually shows what? Because a lot of people in India and in Kerala are expressing great amazement at the fact that why is Kerala, in spite of the left movement, in spite of much better indicators with regard to all aspects of women's lives, despite the fact that Kerala saw such a tremendous renaissance many years ago, decades ago, and a social reform movement. It also had a system of Manumakatayam. But despite all this and high education and also a lot of women being working women, why is it that still the practice of dowry is becoming a bigger and bigger burden on girls' families, and also incidents of domestic violence and dowry deaths are also not abating? Why is this happening? So we must realize that Kerala is also part of India. Kerala is also part of the capitalist system and the neoliberal reform paradigm that is, of course, being implemented all over the country. And this kind of neoliberalism and capitalism itself strengthen patriarchy, and patriarchy in turn strengthens capitalist exploitation and exploitation by the market. So, therefore, my only request to all our friends and our comrades and sisters and brothers in Kerala is that while the government is doing a tremendous job by promoting this campaign, they are also going into studying the textbooks to see all the kind of very blatant and also subtle ways in which girls are depicted as second class citizens, as being inferior to boys. They are going to make changes even in the textbooks. This is absolutely wonderful. It's not, cannot be even dreamt of in the rest of India. But at the same time, we must be very conscious of the fact that because of the capitalist system, and especially in this period of neoliberal reforms, patriarchy is actually getting strengthened every minute of the day. And as it is being strengthened, the status of women is also suffering, and women's exposure to violence, their vulnerability to violence, and the whole pressure that is exerted on girls' families at the time of the girls' marriage are also increasing. I would also like to remind everyone that our caste system, and this caste system is prevalent, of course, not only in the Hindu community, but even among Muslims and certainly among Christians. And it is this feeling that the caste system must be preserved and marriages must take place within the caste group that also creates a huge pressure on the girl's family and leads to very increasing dowry demands and demands for gold. This has become actually a huge social problem in Kerala. Along with the neoliberal reforms, we have also seen that superstition, ritualism is also promoted in a very big way in our society, and Kerala is certainly no exception to this. In fact, in one of the cases in which one of these young women died, the girl's parents revealed the fact that they had been told by an astrologer that the girl should be married within a year, otherwise she would die before she was 27 years old. And believing this, they just were desperate, and they found a boy actually who they didn't realize an earlier relationship of his had broken up because of the dowry demands of his parents, and the girl was married to this boy with very tragic results. And of course, she didn't live to see her 27th birthday anyway. So, along with our campaign for the rights of women, we should also uh, have a campaign against superstition, against these kinds of blind beliefs, against this faith in astrologers and all this kind of regressive thinking that is actually putting our sisters and our daughters in such grave danger. We must remember that now we live in a country which has a constitution which gives women equal rights, which includes the right to choice. They have the right to choice about their own lives, about their life partners, and they must be encouraged to exercise this choice. These choices must not be limited. People must be told that trying to limit the choices available to women under the Constitution of India is illegal. It is a criminal act, and they can face punishment if they restrict their women's rights in any way, whether it is even the rights of their own daughters. They don't have the right to do that either. Their daughters are not their property, just like they are not also the property of the families into which they are married. This whole feeling of treating women as property has also got to be fought. So I am very proud of what Kerala is doing. I'm very happy that Kerala is taking these steps. The government is fully behind steps to promote women's equality in all spheres, and also to give them protection and to be available to help them if they are in distress. That's all very important, but it is also essential to make the connections between the free market, between the neoliberal paradigm and increased patriarchy, between the strengthening of the caste system and the violence and vulnerability of women who are then being forced into marriages within their caste communities. All these things have also got to be part of the campaign, and ultimately what has to be absolutely and clearly stated is that women are equal status, have equal status in every sphere under the Constitution of India, and the government will do everything to guarantee these constitutional rights. Nobody will be allowed to trample on them, neither society at large, nor employers, nor the natal families, that means the families of the girls or the families into which the girls are married, or anyone at all. No one will be allowed to trample on the constitutional rights of women. This must be a very important part of this campaign, as I'm sure it will be. I wish all my friends and comrades and brothers and sisters in Kerala all success in this campaign. And once again, I congratulate the government, the Left Front government of Kerala, for having embarked on this extremely important and crucial campaign. Thank you very much.